Yeah, well, we thought so.
Yeah.
We'd actually picked it up from... We do a few historical recipes, so we were able to pick up a French recipe from 1395, I believe it was, for the historical guys, and then adapted it from there. And in all the research we could find, I could find one... Sorry?
Is that the Odin's Reserve?
That's the Odin's Reserve, yes.
I've got a bottle open right in front of me.
Aha!
It's good stuff.
Thank you. It's probably our most popular seller. And people just love the caramels and toffees in it. And just that hint of bitter orange that comes through a bit more.
It was a surprise.
It's a beautiful colour from the photos.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. It's fun to make too, but got to do it at night because it really calls the bees in. As you know, when you heat the honey and cook the honey, it goes for miles, and the bees come from miles, which is a bit of fun.
So how do you go about cooking, 50 gallons worth of honey?
Well, actually, we're down from that because we're 180 litres, so I don't know what that works out in gallons.
That's 50.
But that's 50. Okay. It's about, what does it work out? About 54 kilos of honey.
Mm-hmm.
And we've got an enormous pot and a really big gas burner. And it takes about an hour and a half or so to get the good colour, but you just boil it down and sit there and boil it and caramelise it.
And are you stirring the whole time, or is it sort of a set and forget?
You're stirring occasionally, just to make sure that it's not catching at all, because you don't want the acrid burnt from it. But the big thing to remember is that honey will expand to about 5 times its volume. So
yes.
We've heard that.
54 kilos, you need like a 200 litre or 220 litre pot to do it safely.
Have you ever tried doing like kind of a giant slow cooker approach? I mean, I'm not sure how you would do that, but you know, I've heard of people that have made small bouchées like a 1 gallon or 4 liter batch or whatever, and have it just do their honey in a crock pot. I don't know what y'all call them, if you call them anything different there, but slow cookers, basically.
Slow cooker.
Yeah. Okay. There you go. Slow cookers. Yeah. And I'd heard that you could not have that. You have to watch it like a hawk because it might explode. Thing go on.
No, I've heard about it and sort of seen it, but realistically, volume-wise, volume and time-wise, it's easier and more efficient for us just to cook it for 2 hours. We've got the equipment.
Yeah, true.
And look, I'd hate to try and do it on a 1,000-litre scale. That gets to some really scary size equipment, and a lot of stuff to go wrong for us anyway. So, but yeah, it's fun. My business partner comes out and wrangles the bees because I'm allergic to bees.
Ah, yeah.
So it's always a good bit of fun. Get laughed at a lot by people when you tell them that, and you work with honey just about every day.
Hamish just lost his mic, so that's why nobody's hearing from him right now. So do y'all do your own honey then, or just some of it? I mean, how much of your honey is going into it? Sounds like you have some, so.
No, we don't do honey at the moment. It's a scale issue for us, and a location. We haven't been able to find a good location for us to settle in. We're on a relative's property, so
okay.
Got to try and keep our footprint down. Yeah. Hence why we don't have a cellar door yet, and the minimalist approach to to what we do have.
Okay.
I love.
What do you like to buy? You've got
Hamish, you're really attenuated, man.
I'm sorry, I missed all of that.
Yeah, Hamish.
that's all right.
Go ahead, Ann.
What do you like to buy? I know the Odin's Reserve is orange blossom, but are you buying or using anything else? Are you looking to bush honeys and trying anything there, or what do you like?
We like a few different ones. So we use the orange blossom, which is really nice. We also use a macadamia honey from northern New South Wales.
Oh, I'm jealous.
Which is really quite nutty and a little bit earthy, and works well with chili meads and the fruit meads. Also, we use Scotch thistle,
really,
which is really nice. We actually do our anniversary mead is made with the Scotch thistle, and it just
is that Scotch thistle honey?
Good. Yes. Yeah.
Where do you have so much Scotch thistle, a known weed?
Listen to these two, and they're like, "Where can we get it?"
Kill them, burn them down.
Well, it is a known weed, but farmers do cultivate it because it does bring up a lot of nutrients from low down in the soil. Most of ours comes out of Harden in New South Wales, from a company called Australian Honey Sellers.
Wow.
The other one we play with is buckwheat.
You've taught me something. I never knew that was cultivated.
Yeah. Well,
I
wouldn't say cultivated. I'd say let go. Like when they're resting a paddock, they'll let it go and won't chip it out for a season. So
that's cool. You just look sideways and suddenly you've got a field full of Scotch thistle.
Wow.
You do.
Okay, so it's like a really pernicious weed. Is it something that people like try to knock back? And, at least in the civilized zones? Yeah. I assume it grows wild out in the wild, but,
Yeah, it does.
Hamish is saying it's evil.
It is controlled as well. But
okay.
We're lucky enough that the beekeepers we use can get onto it. So.
Well, we've got kudzu here. Somewhere along the line, somebody brought Japanese kudzu to America as erosion control, which it's very good at. Unfortunately, in the places where they brought it, it also grows. Literally, you can watch it. I mean, if you stand there for an hour, it'll grow like an inch. It's terrifying. And, it's like the weed that came from outer space, but it's also got some interesting flowers, has a lot of the leaf and the roots and everything have lots of pharmaceutical properties, but the honey, from what I understand, is actually quite nice, and there's quite a lot of it in the American South.
Okay.
Yeah. Literally like covers entire neighborhoods, like with tents of leaves. It's kind of terrifying.
It would be. Attack of the killer weed.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, that's about the extent of it. But so, yeah, I mean, some of the prettiest things are also some of the most pernicious things sometimes. And it is, Steve, after all, it is Australia. It's probably just trying to kill you.
Yeah. Yeah, we're good at that.
Hamish and I have pretty much a continuous him saying it's not so bad, look, see how wonderful it is, and me coming back and going, seriously, really, look at this. I sent him a picture of that bull shark that ended up on the sidewalk after the cyclone hit. That was all over the international news, and so I grabbed it. Oh, Hamish, you're all attenuated again, dude. Oh man, what is wrong with this? Like,
that was pretty cool.
Yeah, that was. Your mic's been drinking.
I had a friend go swimming in South America, and she asked, "Well, what in the water should I look out for? What's dangerous?" And everyone's looking at her like, "People might hurt you if you're rude to them. Like, didn't understand.
She's going, wait, we have sharks
jellyfish?
and jellyfish and rays and, all this stuff.
Octopus. Yeah.
Giant
octopus will kill you in 10 seconds.
Yeah, probably giant squids and evil mermen and God knows what all else it is. Could be anything. The bull shark thing cracked me up. I mean, I sent it to Hamish and said, Sharknadoes? Really? I'm not coming.
Well, it's the next evolutionary step. They learn to fly.
Flying sharks. Yeah, because they can't get you in the water anymore, so, you're wise to them. They're going to have to develop different hunting techniques.
That's it.
Hey, while we're on the honey question, though, have you played with... I've heard nasty things about eucalypt, but I've done a little bit of playing around with bush honey, and so far, so good. Like, are there any honeys in Australia that you would not use, that you just think are... I hear a lot of Americans talking about buckwheat, like, stay away. Is there anything that you would not use from Australian honey?
Buckwheat's not that
Yeah, I've played with buckwheat. We actually used buckwheat in one of our braggots. And it's probably the second most strongest tasting honey, behind agave, which is also really nice. But as to what I wouldn't use, some of the eucalypts need more attention than others, in that they tend to throw a lot of the higher alcohol esters if you ferment too hot and too fast.
Oh, so a low slow would work with those?
Yeah, a low slow is a lot better.
Okay.
Because you've got a portion of the eucalypt oil in it as well, like you get the carryover into the honey and from the pollen. There's always a little bit in there, so you need to be careful with how you deal with it. In saying that, we use a single source red gum honey, which is another eucalypt, and find that the low slow approach with it works really well.
I think Hamish is really fond of red gum. Mm.
Yeah. Our preference for honeys is more for the single source, so you can actually showcase it better. And in doing that, you can really pick the individual flavours of the honey itself. And we find that works really well, whereas a wildflower or a bush honey can just give you a really mixed flavour, and you can't sort of guarantee on it from batch to batch, because what's in bloom is going to change batch to batch.
Interesting.
So that's our approach to it. We tend to like the single sources, and that way you can help to actually educate people on honey as well.
Yeah.
We have a lot of people go away from tastings going, well, I need to find this honey just to have the honey.
We did that when Hamish brought some 6 different honeys over to the Mazer Cup and did tastings for a whole bunch of people. Hey, how many people? Hopefully I can hear you.
Like 150
yes.
or something.
Yeah,
Wow.
lots.
Wow.
So half the Mazer Cup got to taste Australian honeys. And now there's people trying to organize containers of Australian honey to be shipped over here. Some of the commercial mead makers. We've opened a huge can of worms. So if y'all run out of honey, and we're sorry.
It's all the Americans' fault.
It's our fault, yeah.
So,
Yeah.
just on that, you would say that buckwheat was a stronger flavour to honey than leatherwood from Tasmania?
Yes. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Leatherwood is strong, but buckwheat just right. It goes over the top. It really does. And it's, to me, it has a taste like liquid malt.
Okay.
So the extract they use for brewing is what they call liquid malt, and it's that sort of strength in taste.
Okay. Do you get the off notes? We get on the Eastern buckwheat. We have Eastern and Western, and they're different from one another.